We are here to make people feel good about themselves. We really have to feel like we are a day maker for the guest. You've made my day. How great is that when you hear those words from your guest?
Hey friends, this is Daved Dolce with the Daymakers podcast. Today we are interviewing one of our very own, Mr. Joseph. He's one of our educator extraordinaires. Mr. Joseph, welcome to the program.
Fantastic to be here.
I'm glad to have you
Thank
here.
you.
You're just one of the people that I've seen since when I've been here and like, oh my God, this guy's great. He's great.
Oh,
He's great.
thank
We
you.
got to go here, there. And so having you be a part of some of the media stuff we do, you do the news stations, all of that stuff for us. So naturally, you should be on the podcast.
Well, thank you. I've loved being popped around everywhere. It's fun.
It is fun.
Instead of just bragging, talking to the teachers and students all the time, it's nice to have a bigger selection.
It's true. So as far as Tricoci goes, what made you choose Tricoci as an employer?
I really wanted something that stood out in the industry that was cutting edge. I got into teaching because I felt there was such a huge disconnect from schooling into the real world. And I felt Tricoci, and I've worked at other places, but I felt Tricoci really pushed past in allowing educators the freedom to teach from experience and not just a cookie cutter book to pass a test. So yes, we're getting people prepared to test, but with Tricoci, we're pushing past that and being, we want you to thrive when you get out of here, not just have a job, but we want you to thrive, have a living, have a career. And Tricoci steps above that in what they offer on education side, but also what they offer to the students with partnerships. And not a lot of schools have partnerships besides just having basic color lines and basic products to play with. And then you get out there and you're like, I didn't learn half of this. Great.
It's so true.
But with Tricoci, I feel it gives a better foundation and stepping stone for success.
I agree with you 100%. That's why I like working for them too as well. So you have a pretty extensive career yourself. You got your hands in everything. You're not just working at a salon. You're not just working at a spa. You're not just educating. You're doing everything. Cosmetology, aesthetics, just listening to you earlier upstairs in the green room. Like the level of expertise that you have and you bring to our students is just phenomenal.
I can't help it when it just interjects in.
I mean, you speak with such fluidity
Thank
and
you.
knowledge. It's like, I want to listen to you. Like, I want you to be my educator. I could just stand there and listen to you.
Come by the campus anytime.
Yes. So I want to know a little bit about your journey. Like, what got you involved in this industry and how did you get into education and what's your day-to-day look like?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like you don't even get days off.
No, I mean, I've gotten to a point where 7 days a week, but I love what I do. I'm very fortunate. Starting off, I started in theater from performing myself, then kind of fell into the background doing hair and makeup. So before I even got into the professional world licensing, I started off in doing hair and makeup for musicals and then going into editorial for magazines and runway. And I never said no when I first started. Everything was like, yes, let me do that. And let me cram as much in because I didn't know what I wanted at the beginning. I didn't know what avenue I wanted to go into. So anytime an opportunity came up, I was like, yeah, I can make that work. Let me just do it. Keep running with it. And I've been fortunate to work in so many different avenues that this industry gives us, from, like I said, with everything from going in musicals and behind the scenes to TV and film, and then realizing that I wanted more stability and went to school to actually gain a license when I learned I could make more money. That was a great point to go to, but it really allowed me to refine the raw skills that I had. And I was able to find stability in going into the salon world. And I learned what I loved and didn't love from working at a few different places. I had some incredible bosses and I had some really terrible ones, but some of the worst ones taught me the most on how to treat people, how to interact, and what gives back to a healthy environment. So that was part of going into teaching. I'm almost in this for 15 years in the beauty industry. And I went back to school during COVID to actually start teaching because salons were closed for a while and I didn't know what was going to happen. So I was like, you know what, besides just harping on my clients and teaching them and pushing knowledge to them, let me get back there and start giving it back where it really starts.
I'm glad that happened for you because I
you.
love that you're part of our team.
Yes.
You're relatable. The students love you. The staff even loves you. So that real world experience that you brought into the classroom, do you think that's helped you be a better educator because you have so much experience with so many different things and people?
Absolutely. I'm very firm believer in any type of trade school. And we are a trade school, we're hands-on. And
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that no matter what you're teaching, you should be practicing. So I still work behind the chair and the salon bed and spa bed, and I still have my own salon and spa that I work in. And being with Tricoci allows me the flexibility to be behind the chair and also in a classroom and corporate setting where I can give it back but stay connected. Because I feel once you stop practicing your craft, we lose our creativity. We lose that passion. And by staying, even if it's just one day or once every couple months, you're doing stuff, doing a photo shoot, it re-sparks it and you're able to show that passion in the classroom more than just teaching from a book or going through the monotony that starts to happen. So I like to keep the spark and I get bored, so I have to do everything.
I know, don't we all? This creative energy we all
Yes.
have. But it's true. I tell my clients now when I'm doing my clients, they're like, oh my gosh, you're probably so tired. You
Yeah.
work so much. I'm like, this though?
Right?
This makes me feel like a human being.
Yes.
This reminds me of who I am.
It brings it
my
back
creativity.
to what sparked it. Why we saw the people doing this. We saw stage shows. We saw when we were getting our hair done, and that really sparked into, I want to do that. I want to have the flexibility. And I've even realized my clients love hearing about it. They're like, so what are you doing at the school now? What's happening with this? So it crossed in where one didn't get affected to the other. And I can teach them. They're like, oh, I didn't even think that that was a part of it. And I'm like, yeah, we go through multiple little courses that are like different professions all tied into one.
It's
that people
so
don't think
true.
about. Yeah.
How, like, that's a good segue into what I want to ask you is, what do you think there's some common misperceptions that people have of beauty school educators?
Yeah.
Because I know when I'd say I'm an educator and I've had people tell me, oh, what do you teach? And I'm like, oh, beauty school.
No,
And they're,
oh,
like,
okay.
wait, what do you mean? Like, it's very detailed.
I'm like, it's valid. I was like, I
Yes.
actually teach real stuff. I get it all the time, and I still do it. I actually love it now. Before I kind of got offended, I'm like, what do you mean? Like, oh, cosmetology. I'm like, no, I teach aesthetics and cosmetology, and I love it. And I kind of throw it back as a challenge. I'm like, well, yeah. I'm like, we just went over to and they're like, wait, you have to learn engineering and biology and chemistry. I'm like, there's a lot of mathematics and science, but we deep dive into chemical formulation, what we're doing on clients. I mean, color theory, things that take people years to master, we're cramming into like a year-long, maybe 2-year-long program.
It's crazy.
I was like, you're doing a mini medical biology course, you're doing a engineering and electrical course, everything. So it's not just, yeah, we get to play with hair and people's skin and socialize, but there's a psychology aspect in it.
It's so much deeper.
Handling so much emotion, being so intimate with people. And
That's a whole thing in itself.
learn secrets that I'm like, oh, probably shouldn't know that about your family, but great. I'm like, can't remember that you part your hair on that side for 10 years of seeing you, but I know everything about your whole family.
That's so relatable.
Like,
I'm some people, I'm like, what side do you part on?
Right.
Like, oh my God, I've been doing your hair 10 years.
Put that one note in, but everything else I know, oh, your grandchildren, everything. I'm like, remember their names, but I'm like, what's your name again? Only saw you for 10 years.
When I always bring up to people that question, like, oh, educate, I'm like, don't you want the person that's doing your hair, working on your skin to be able to identify different conditions or diseases that you may have?
Absolutely.
I'm like, we need to know all the differences between ringworm. Ringworm looks like psoriasis.
Yes.
But we need to know the difference between these
Absolutely.
things and teach it back.
We're going to professionals for doctors, and we go to the dentist, and we hire a plumber because we can't do it, but we have to learn all those things as well in that. I mean, even just like when I talk about, oh, you do an engineering course, I'm like, well, yeah, we are working with machinery. We have to know the voltage and how many outlets we have to have, things so we don't blow up our salon or we don't blow up our hairdryer and start your head on fire with hairspray. I was like, there's so many little things that go into it. And so I kind of wear it as a hat of like, yeah, we're kind of like a master of nothing, but we're a jack of every like career pulled together in one.
I love that.
You get to brag about. And it makes it great for social interaction at parties because you have someone who's a psychologist. And I'm like, oh yeah, to talk about a study or something. And they're like, I thought you just played with hair. I'm like, haha, joke's on you.
No, I know, you wish. But that's the fun part of it too, hearing people's stories. That's what makes you relatable to students, all the things that you hear. What advice do you catch yourself giving to your students more so than maybe something else?
Do everything. Don't say no. Take the opportunity, jump around, move around. I was fortunate enough to do it, but I went out and sought after things. I also was fortunate where because of people I met, I was recommended for things and things that I've never even thought I would do. Like when I got into doing film and television, I met somebody on set 5 years prior, worked with them for like 2 minutes, sprucing their hair up for them to put a helmet on. They referred me to a producer and they called me and said, "Can you come do a pilot?" And that spurred doing a TV series for a year. And I'm like, you never know who you're meeting. So
That's so cool.
do everything, go to every social event, do every mixer. You've worked a 10-hour day in school, and I say work because it is work. It's not you're sitting in class doing reading, you're working. I'm like, go to that mixer on a Saturday or a Friday night, go and network, socialize, because you never know who's going to call you 5 years later. You never know what that's going to line up that you didn't think you want to go into platform work and working on stage, but hey, the beauty show is coming up and somebody needs someone to hand out flyers at their booth. And just by handing out flyers, they love your personality and that you educated yourself on their brand without needing to, and they're going to call you to come and do traveling shows. It's just, there's so many avenues that this brings into. So I say take everything and every opportunity you can.
I love it.
You
I
can
always
decide
say,
what you want later.
yeah, you don't want somebody to go into somebody else's chair because you don't know how to do it. You just lost the client right then and there.
Well, and that's great too, because I love the education aspect, because I'll talk an ear off, but I like educating clients. And I always say, whether you come back to me or you don't, I want you educated on your own body and hair so you can make an educated decision. Like if you're in that situation where you do go somewhere else, because we jump around, we try different places, but you at least know what's happening to you. You know when something is right or wrong. So now you have the education backed up, and they usually come back and they're like, "Can you fix it? I'm sorry. Like I went somewhere else." I'm like, "That's fine. Let's fix it. I'm going to charge you more money, but we're going to fix it." But I like that education behind it. I like using education as a weapon. And I know that seems very taboo, but
no, I like it.
It's your best defense when you're underestimated, but it's also your biggest piece you can put forward. And it's not showboating, it's not this, but you're factually backing up what you're working on and doing to show that you have the skill and knowledge to move forward.
It's important.
It's huge.
What example do you have when you look back? Like I have a million of them, but some do stick out, of a certain student that came into your life probably for a reason, and you can look back and be like, you know what? Like I made this person's day. With this person really got a lot out of me, and I really do feel like I affected their life in a positive manner.
Yeah.
Just one that sticks out for you?
I had a student at a prior school that we butted heads. There's always going to be that one educator, and I had one myself, but we butted heads so much on trying to they had such great skill, raw skill, but they already felt they knew everything. And I was like, I challenged them and they hated me. But I'm not here to be your best friend. I'm here to make sure that you have the education and you can go out there confidently. So I'm like, that's fine. Throw it at me if you don't like me now. But they reached out to me 5 years after they graduated, and they sent me on social media like a 5-paragraph like thank you. They're like, "I was a pain in the ass to you, and I'm so sorry, but thank you for pushing and making me so angry to the point where I ditched school for 2 hours and you had to go walk around the promenade to find me, and then found me in a grocery store and yelled at me to get back to school." They were like, "Thank you, because it instilled in me such a work confidence, and you were the first person to actually believe in what I was doing." They came from a background and family that really wasn't there. I learned more, and it's very deep and it gets raw, but there are so many people going through so many different challenges, whether it's family related, work related, homelessness. And with this particular student, they had no family, they had nothing, and they were always told, "You're going to be average. You just need to get a job where it's going to pay you. You're not going to be a shining star. You're not going to stand out. Don't try. You're not competent enough." And having someone behind you that sees that little bit to push, I think, is huge. And whether I do it or not, I try and do that with everybody, because I don't know who it's going to stick with. And I can't really be a person to say, yeah, I've made an impact on someone's life. I think that's going towards the person that you talked with. So it's kind of like, you kind of have to do a review on all the teachers and students I worked with and see who got something. But I just try and put it out there. And when you see that raw talent, you push and drive people, because sometimes they don't have that support at home. They don't have someone that's in their corner rooting and being like, "Yes, you did something so small, and in the hindsight, it's so minuscule, but right now it means so much." that gives that spark for them to keep going
And
and have a
that's
confidence.
and that's us, like in this industry as educators. Like college educators really don't know their students on that personal of a level.
They're a number in a giant
it
showroom.
Yep, and it's almost required of
Yeah.
us. Get to know them.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't be here if I didn't have somebody that did that extra focus on me.
Absolutely.
I was a bad movie school student. I was nuts. I'd hide in cabinets, be sleeping, like
Yeah.
just the whole thing.
I was all over the place, and I have Miss Annie and Miss Annie. I had a Miss Annie during the day and a Miss Annie at night, and they were two of the biggest driving factors that pushed me to do things outside of my comfort. And I was like, thank you. I hated them at first.
Yeah.
I said that to them when I graduated. I'm like, I'm sorry, I was a horrible student to you, but thank you. And they like gave me the smile and hug, and I'm like, that stuck with me.
And they know, and that is how
yes.
you know you did a good job.
Yeah.
Like a couple of my graduates I've interviewed, and for them to just tell me like, you made an impact on my life.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
I still get it where I get texts now because I'm like,
It's
listen,
the
you
best.
graduate, you can bombard me on social media and add me, and I get texts like, I just interviewed for this and I got it, or they're like, I interviewed at 6 places, but I'm like, that's fantastic. At least you put yourself out there, and they still check in, or I stalk them on social media and I check and see what I'm like, look at what you're doing and accomplishing. We just had a student come back and they're a brand ambassador for Keratin now. They reach out because of their social media push, and they're doing all this color stuff.
Wow.
They're reaching out and making their own extensions brand and working on custom. And I'm like, it's amazing. And they turned to me after they were just on, and they're like, thank you. I was a pain in the ass, but thank you for being on my back in school. And I'm like, you had the skill, but you were putting yourself in a grouping at school because we get cliques, and you have to separate yourself. This is what you're getting out of it. Don't let someone else hinder that. And they're thriving. I think they're one of the biggest success stories coming out of Tricoci, at least that I personally got a small piece in.
That's fantastic.
As an educator.
That's cool. What's been your most rewarding part of like being a part of Tricoci?
I think the new friendships and grouping that I've gotten out of it, and not just with educators, but also students that I now call colleagues. With Tricoci, you get a whole new walk of life with everybody. It's sometimes you get into a job and you find it because they're the same people. You kind of because like, oh, we have the same, but it's so diverse, and sometimes it's confrontational, but in a good way where you build. And Tricoci really has become a family. I've worked at a lot of places and spas and salons and everything, and you have the camaraderie when you're there, but not on the outside, where we can message each other and check in or do stuff. And it's nice having that family unit with Tricoci and being able to contribute into it. So I think that's the most rewarding part, is that it's so accepting, so diverse, and it's challenging. So you keep moving up and going and going and going. And Tricoci will allow you to go as far as you want to, or they'll be happy and just let you sit comfortably where you're at.
Yep.
And sit and be like, okay, cool, you're right there. You want to say, we'll keep you there. Otherwise, they're gonna push you and be like, no, you can do more. Like they'll throw something that, oh, you do that? Oh, come and do this. That's how I got put into doing the television, everything. They're like, oh, you did good on that. Let's throw you here. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they give you more challenges. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see where that takes us.
Yep, we're
I love it.
watching.
Yes.
Like when people, how do I get your job? How do I get your job? I'm like, just keep being you, and they'll find you. Like I've never asked for any of my promotions. They've asked me if I would be interested in doing them. So some people have the wrong mentality going in that. And you're right. That's another opportunity of just, you don't say no. You just say, yes,
absolutely.
Yes. Doing those things that make you nervous, but no, yes, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then you show up. I want to congratulate you also. You were recently promoted, now that we're talking about it, to a student success advisor.
Thank you so much.
And we've been talking about being a day maker. You've answered questions about how you've helped shape people and change them and carrying that into their life. Like, do you realize like the impact you've had on like their future and their future mentoring? And when they talk to other people, they're always going to remember you. They're always going to remember Mr. Joseph and what you did for them.
It's something you realize after the fact. You're in it and you're really not thinking about what am I doing for them. You're obviously doing everything for that student. It's like, I've done this. I've done what I wanted and gotten out of it, and I'm still doing, but you kind of pull yourself out of it because we all like accolades and we like to be congratulated, but you don't really matter in that moment. It's all focused on that student because you don't want them to be as good as you want them better than you. If they get there faster, they learn the mistakes you made and get there faster. So I do realize down the line and looking back at everything, how much I've contributed and achieved, but I don't feel it matters in that moment,
I
because you
love
kind
it.
of have to remove yourself, because you remove your pride and you remove your ambition, because your ambition in that moment is to push them to get their all out of it.
It's true.
So you can be skilled and talented, but it's not your time to shine in that
It's
aspect.
not.
No,
No,
it's
that's
theirs.
beautiful. Some
Yeah.
people are the opposite way. How do you think all of this helped you create these long-lasting relationships?
Oh, wow. Honestly, just being able to just keep doing what I love. I think I know the day to pack up and stop is when I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I wake up loving what I do. I talk my partner's ear off. He's like, leave work at work. I'm like, I can't. I'm like, I eat, sleep, breathe this industry. I've done every aspect of it. I'm like, I'll still answer a call or email from people because I love it. And I think that what keeps me tied in. It wanting to still help, wanting to push. And I'm the type of person, I'm never really satisfied when I get something. Because I want challenge. I want to grow. I want to keep moving. And I feel when you're green, you grow. When you're not, you rot. So
Yes.
I like to be comfortable. I get to a point. So like this promotion, fantastic. I'm going to sit in it. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to appreciate the accomplishment I've achieved. But down the line, maybe in a year from now, I'm going to be like, I'm too comfortable. I need a challenge. I need to shake it up. Maybe I need to do something new or refreshing, and I need to be more challenged. So I'll be messaging and be like, hey, is there more I can do? Is there another challenge you can throw my way? Because my plate's not
Great.
full enough as is.
No, we
So
love it.
I-
We love those questions.
I like that. I just like being able to be in it and keep going. And I know the day when I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do anymore.
That's
I'm happy
beautiful.
with just, I'm sitting complaints and I'm like, okay, your passion's a little bit done. Maybe it's time to move over and let someone else that's younger and has another view on life, and they can take the reins from there and continue pushing and driving the next generation.
You have a lot of passion, so you'll be around for a while,
Oh,
Mr. Joseph.
I'm probably going to die doing what I do. So to the moment.
But again, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
being part of this. Thank
Absolutely.
you, and congratulations on
Thank
that
you.
promotion. I look forward to many years working with
Oh,
you
yes.
and just seeing what the future brings for you. It's bright.
Thank you. It means a lot.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. This has been fantastic. I'll
Awesome.
come back anytime.
All right, you're welcome anytime.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.